Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Half Century of Collecting Sports Cards, episode 44, the Hank Aaron edition. Except we're not going to do the Hank Aaron edition today. I'm going to put that off for a little bit later edition. Instead, since I just got an SGC return in this last week, we're going to go ahead and look through some of that. I sent off 77 cards, and that's way too many to do in one video, but what I do want to do is go through the 71 vendings that I sent, which are in that stack, and just a few of the other cards. I did send off a Hank Aaron. This is a 59 Bazooka, and I sent that off thinking I would get an authentic because I knew it was cut a little short side to side, and that is exactly what they say, minimum size not met. It was nicely cut, but whoever cut it did cut it a little too short. One of those hand-cut cards. I think it's a really cool looking card, and getting authentic is nice. I'm kind of thinking of sending a lot of my Hall of Fame collection. I've got one, or shooting for anyway, one of each card during their playing days, and putting that in that Hall of Fame collection. And it kind of looks neat, actually graded. I think it's a little bit of, going to the dark side or whatever, having cards graded. I've never done that before. I've bought some graded cards, but I've never actually sent anything off until now. It is a little spendy to do something like that, even at the 15 bucks a piece. I spent almost 1,500 bucks when you count a few of them that had to be upgraded or paid more, I guess, and then the shipping to and from, along with just 15 bucks a piece. But let's go ahead and just look through some of these 71s that I got back. And what I did on the ones that I sent from the 71s, I did not send my best card of each of them, but sent, most of these are probably my second best card. I don't know why I'm scared to send the best one, but it's an 8. Here is a common card, Jim Ray, 7.5. I thought in particular they were probably a little tough on the 71s. The non-71s, I didn't think so much. I thought they probably graded more the way I would think. Here's another 7.5. But tough to get good grades on these 71s. And these are these ones that I sent in. Not a whole lot of flaws that I could notice. Some of these are centered a little poorly on the back, like the Tillman, and I don't know if they hit hard on that. Here's one. This is actually one of the better ones. I got an 8.5. Bob Humphreys. A lot of these are hard to, it's between 7.5s and 8.5s. Hard to tell a ton of difference. I mean, even this one, the centering isn't perfect on the front and not perfect on the back, but that one got an 8.5. Here's somebody who someday might get in the Hall of Fame, Bob Gritch, and we get an 8. This card, you just, maybe see a tiny bit of white in a couple of those corners, but the edges are pretty black all the way around. Again, the centering is probably one of the hits here for getting an 8. We got a Bill Russell. This is his rookie card of a good player, and he gets an 8. And just a touch of white. And, this magnifying glass thing, my wife picked one of these up because her eyes, like mine, don't see close up so well anymore, and she likes to do a lot of cross stitch, and I saw her using that thing, and it's like, can I use it? And it's kind of cool. It blows things up. It's got a little light here that you flick on and see things pretty on. Now, this one only got a 7. And to me, I don't know if there's anything really different. Back looked about as nice as it can be in the corners. Again, the centering might be an issue, but not really any different than the one that gets an 8.5. Here's a Billy Martin. This one gets an 8. And I think real nice. Some back centering issues. Next we've got an Allen Gallagher. This is the one I got my very first pull when I first opened that vending. So I just wanted to send it because of that. And it comes out with a 7.5. And that back centering problem. And then we got a Hall of Famer here, Gaylord Perry. This one is a lot better for back centering. And it gets an 8. Pretty nice. Not a whole lot of white, you know, little specks of white you see on some of the edges. This one's well centered in the front as well. So tough. Looks like it's really tough to get higher than an 8. This is one of those, it was a low pop card for anything higher than an 8, and this is not an 8 at a 7.5. This one, I think I do have 2 that were at least as nice or maybe better. So I'll have to decide what we do with those, and you know, those decisions, I guess, are leave them ungraded, try PSA, do another SGC, all different options. This one just got a 7. I think this was one that was a little more poorly back centered in a couple directions, yeah, which might be why it just got the 7. That was a Jim Palmer on there, and then we got a Jerry Rice, and this one got an 8.5. Trying to get rid of that glare, but again, this one with the back centering isn't real hot on this one either. I don't know if it's any different than the ones that got 7.75, maybe less of the little white showing in spots. I don't know, maybe not. But that one gets an 8.5. Here's a Rod Carew. This is my 4th best Carew, so I got 3 better that I kept. But this was, I think this was from the first one too, the very first break. So him and that Gallagher came in that first break, and he gets a 7. But I guess 7 is my 4th best Carew, not too bad. Little back's got a little white on that one corner. Centering maybe not quite as good. So that looks like that's it for the 71s that I sent in. And let's go ahead and show I got a few more in the stack. We might as well go through those as well. So these are some 63s that I sent in, and my 63 set, I think, is a near mint on average set. The ones that I bought graded are all 7s or higher, and just picked a few more out to send in, and that's a pretty cool card of Willie Mays and Stan Musial that gets a 7. I like that card. And Roberto Clemente gets a 7. So on the top to bottom centering isn't quite as good. Side to side was real good, and the corners are real nice on this card. And this 63's got some issues, same as 71's, as far as having color on some borders. 2 of the 4 anyway. And Orlando Cepeda gets a 7.5. So a little better on that one. One card that I think looks, again, real nice. I don't see much for flaws other than not perfect centering. And we sent Bobby Richardson in, and that gets a 7. So all 7s or highers on these 63s. And these aren't, I don't know, when I look through these, I guess they're not total surprises for me, because I did peek. I peeked both when I got them, and then I also peaked when I heard the submissions were done. So this is Power Plus of Banks and Aaron. A little too hard not to. I don't. Maybe some of you can do that, but once you find out what they are, especially the first submission, it's pretty hard not to look. So another 7 there. That's good. So we're keeping our 7s or higher intact on all the 63s that I've gotten graded. And here's a 675. The Dodgers' big 3 pitchers: Johnny Padres, Don Drysdale, and Sandy Koufax. Nice looking card. So I was hoping I'd get all 7s or higher on those that I had sent in, more 63s, and it happened. So that was pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. I was hoping maybe for a little better on the 71 vendings. Here's the other one I guess we'll show. This was double I have, a Reggie Jackson. And actually that did better than I thought. Because look at the corners. Not super great, and either the top. Sometimes, you know, you look at graded cards and centering and eye appeal and color really tend to come in a little bit more than the corners, just because the way they look in the holders, you don't even notice if the corners are a little rough or not. And I noticed that on some of when I'm going to go through a bunch of these older cards in a different video. You can really notice that on some of the cards from the early 1900s or earlier. This Jackson had some really nice color to it, so it's a 6. So I think that's all I'm going to show, other than I am going to show, I got 2 cards back out of the 77 as counterfeit, and they were, for me, good to know. This is, I actually questioned this one all along, this Harry Heilman, and the reason I sent it in, it is part of my Hall of Fame guys that now I know I need 2 more Hall of Fame guys in both Burley Grimes. This is a Tattoo Orbit. And maybe I had some other Tattoo Orbits graded and looked at, and the backs are definitely different. So I don't know if this was even made as to be more of a reprint. But when I bought it, I had no clue, and so now I found out it's counterfeit, and now I need a Burley Grimes, and I need a Harry Heilman. That one also came back counterfeit. All right, that's all I'm going to show today. Next video, I think we'll go back to my favorite 400s and then maybe do some more submission reveals, because I've got a lot more to show. A lot more on some older cards. There's a stack I got back, and the rest are in those boxes. All right, take care, and probably won't see you before Thanksgiving, so have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Bye.